Alright guys, here another video for the early access wilds of Eldraine. We are going to try out a Calix deck. Green-white enchantments, for those who doesn't know what that means. Calix is just a super busted card. Whenever he enters or another enchantment, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Whenever Calix or an enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you create another token of a non-legendary enchantment I control. So, with the Wilds of Eldraine that came out, we now have token enchantment aura rolls, which is just really makes this deck just pop. Royal Treatment is a fantastic card, giving a creature hexproof until end of turn, instant speed. You also create a enchantment at instant speed with this that gives a creature +1/+1 and ward 1. So essentially, when you cast this, you give a creature hexproof +1/+1 and ward 1 at instant speed for 1. And the enchantment stays around, which triggers all of your enchantment buffs. With Calix, it makes the creature enchanted with an aura so that you get the Calix triggers. Archon of the Wild Rose is just your top end payoff in this deck. Only costs 4 for 4/4 flying. It's going to give all your other enchanted creatures 4/4 base power and toughness and flying. Just incredible. Just sweep at the end, flying, they can't block, you win. Another new card is Spellbook Vendor. We are going to be playing him at 2. At the beginning of your combat, for 1 mana, you can create a Sorcerer, which is another enchantment. You trigger all your enchantment stuff, you make a creature have an aura on it, he gets +1/+1, and whenever he attacks, scry 1. So you have a little bit of, deck filter there to make sure you top in cards you really want. Other cards that make creatures enchanted, Audacity, that's the go-to, has been for the past year. +2/+0 trampled, and whenever that creature leaves the field, you draw a card. Fantastic for 1. And Visitor is going to trigger every time we cast one of these. I don't think it triggers off of Royal Treatment. That's the one thing. Whenever you cast it, you create it. You don't cast the enchantment. So I don't. Well, we'll see in gameplay, but I don't believe it triggers the Visitor because it's technically instant, and you don't cast the enchantment. It will trigger on Audacity. It will not trigger on Vendor, unfortunately. It won't trigger with Kami either. The only thing that the rolls will trigger will be your Archon activation and your Calix activation triggers. Those and that's really what this deck's built around is making sure your creatures are enchanted and getting the top end game ender with Archon or the triggers with Calix, so that you can just copy seals, copy ossifications, copy weavers, create your big board, and you can copy with Weaver as well. Green-white enchantments. Let's go into game 1 to see how this goes. Alright, here we are, game 1. We're going to keep. That's a pretty good hand. We can Naturalist into Weaver Ossification. Turn 3. It's a 1/1, which is fine. Lord Skitter's Blessing. Enters the battlefield, create a Wicked Roll token attached to target creature you control at the beginning of your draw step. If you control an enchanted creature, you lose 1 life and draw an additional card. Nice, so whenever he put that Wicked Roll token, he got rid of the Cursed Roll token. That's pretty good. Essentially a 4/3 on turn 1, as long as you have the Blessing. Okay, so we can pop off here with a Weaver, another Weaver, and an Ossification on the... Well, we probably should have picked the Forest, but we're going to get rid of that Hex Mage, lose 1 life, and gain Forest. He is running Abzan. Saffron Olive, I just realized that. Okay. Ooh, the Royal Treatment is nice to have here. Let's go ahead and swing out 6. Really good. Have the Royal Treatment and the Ossification on board. Easy win, I feel like. Here. GG, Saffron Olive. We'll take game 1. Really good show from this deck in game 1. Neat little trick with the Skitter's Blessing on the Hex Mage, but it was just no match for the Ossification. Card is still busted, confirmed. Unfortunately, we didn't get to show off our royal treatment. I was hoping to do that. I was hoping he would try to remove one of our weavers or naturalists so that we could show that off, but maybe this game. Ooh, I like the avatar here. I didn't even think to look at that. A little slow. I'm not crazy about it. If we draw a untapped land, that would be really clutch for us. We can Visitor turn 2, or we can Kami turn 2, is what we really want to do. Overgrown farmland on turn 1's really not what we want to be doing. Unfortunate, but we get to Visitor. If we could draw a land here, it would be really good for us. Cult Conscript is fine. We didn't draw the land, unfortunately. We could Jukai Naturalist, or we can Kami. The Naturalist, I don't see any advantage. The only thing it does is it would make Ossification less expensive. I don't see the bonus in that. We're just going to go ahead and Kami and set up for our next turn. Dread Knight, nice. Okay, there's the land. That's what we want to see. We can't Ossification, unfortunately. We will Naturalist. We'll trigger both of these. We'll make a big Kami. We can Audacity or hold open Royal Treatment, I feel like. If a Royal Treatment, he becomes a 1, or he becomes a 5/5. If he double blocks, it kills it. So that's not really what we want to see. I think it would be fine to trade here, though, to slow our opponent down. He may just let it go through. He doesn't have the mana to cast this from his graveyard. When it dies, you may cast it from your graveyard as an adventure until the end of your next turn. No, he can do it next turn. That would be fine. So he's doing like more of a graveyard removal. Royal Treatment. Is not going to trigger our Visitor. Very unfortunate that it doesn't trigger our Visitor. If we had a basic, it would have been nice too. But we'll get this Kami back. This Kami will return. We will see it again. If he wants to do the Dread Knight, he's got the until end of turn to do it, but he's got to tap 2 to do it. Okay, he does do it, which opens him up for an attack next turn. Ooh, there's our Wild Rose. We're gonna Audacity on the Naturalist. We're gonna make a big Naturalist and swing for 6, holding our Royal Treatment up. Makes our seal cost 1, which if he does play a creature, we can seal next turn and still have our Royal Treatment available. We'll want to cast this on Visitor so that we can have 2 enchanted creatures for our Archon and Calix triggers. Okay, tap land's fine. We will seal the Hex Mage. We're gonna +1/+1 the Visitor to get over the Sprout. That's fine. Now we have the Royal Treatment still. He kind of got mana screwed. Unfortunate for our opponent. We didn't really get to see the real power of the Golgari Reanimate. Dreadnought seems fine to me, but I'm not completely sold on it as a viable constructed card. We'll have, I mean, time will tell, but I just don't see it. Okay, so we can Archon. Yeah, we'll just do it just for sake. Makes our naturals have flyer. We'll win that way, just so we can get the Archon on the field for the video. That's 2-0 for our Calix Enchantment deck. Go to game 3. See if we can't have our first 3-0 deck of the day. So far, we're 2-1 with our previous 2. I had a feeling if any deck was going to do really, really good, it was going to be this deck. And that looks like the case. That's fine. We do actually have a Calix, finally. I mean, where it's a Calix deck, and we're just now drawing it on game 3. These videos are going to be quick, being best of 1. We'll call me on turn 2. I mean, we'll Calix next turn for sure. Is this a mirror match? Doesn't necessarily mean it's a mirror match, but if he's playing white basic planes, then okay, he's playing a human deck. That's fine. We're gonna Calix. That buffs our Kami. We'll put the trigger +1/+1 on Calix. Next turn, we can Audacity on Kami, and then we can copy some stuff. If he plays anything worth it, actually we'll Ossification, and then we'll Audacity as well, and we can copy an Ossification twice, or we can copy Audacity twice. I don't, yeah, there's not a, ooh, Vendor. Okay, we get to play with Vendor this turn. The beginning of combat, eh? Do we Ossification just to make it a sealed? I think we're gonna Vendor. We're gonna Vendor. We can Ossification as well, but I don't really want to. We're gonna Audacity on the Kami. We're going to create the Sorcerer role. I'm not sure what he could have. Actually, he's got 2 mana available. I just realized that. We'll +1/+1 the Calix, just in case he's got some shenanigans. We'll create a Sorcerer role on Calix. Actually, we should have did... Yeah, we did that backwards. That's a shame. We should have put the Audacity on Calix. Since the Kami had trampled. Did it just freeze up on me? Yeah. That was... Uh-oh. Client is freezing up on us. Unfortunate. Should have put the Audacity on Calix. That way we would have the draw trigger and both would have had a trample. Put the Sorcerer roll on Kami. That would have been the correct play. Well, you live and learn. Archon off the top, I think, wins it. Okay, no Archon. That's fine. We're going to Ossification. Get rid of this Galagreeters because it's becoming a problem. Ooh, okay, we get to show off our royal treatment. Yeah, how he's a big boy. Do we swing with Spell Vendor? We've already got a roll on this, so we can't really do... I think we do. You could gain 2 with it. Double block. No, I don't think we do. We'll hold Spellbender back. Swing for 8. In case we get something. Another bodyguard. That's a shame. We will draw a card. Another land. Maybe we need to cut the land back. I think we went with 23. Unfortunate. Doesn't look like we're going to get the 2-0. Werefox bodyguard. Rule treatment come in clutch, but it's fine. We can just Archon off the top. I'm really liking the Archon in this deck. Spellbook Vendor seems nice too. I think what we want to do is we want to go 4 Archon. I think 4 Archon is the way to go. It's just so good when you draw it. It does so much for you. Bad part about Eldraine there. What he can do is he can sack those. Oh my gosh. MTG Arena. We can't do that because we already have rolls on these. No attacks. Each turn he attacks though, that's a problem. He can gain 3. Essentially we're at 19. No. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We go to 1. No, we don't. We lose because of the Catilda trigger. We have to chump here. Unfortunately. It's 14. We'll go to 2. And then gain 3. We'll be at 5. Okay, he doesn't Catilda. Oh my. What a way to go. Nice. Good game. We drew how many lands in a row at the end there? Was that 4? Ah, that's a shame. Okay, so we're 2-1 again with the Calix deck. I'm very unfortunate mana flood there at the end. Very nice. Oh, I mean, we were 1 draw away from winning it there. We just got an Archon off the top there at the end. I believe we could have won that game. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do right now. Let's update this deck. We want 4 Archon. Note they are not legendary, so you could have multiples, which is fine. I think the seal goes in best of 1. I think that's fine. This is really what you want here. The Spellbook Vendor is super nice. I really wish that these triggered off of the rolls being in, but they don't. And it's fine. It's perfectly fine. Naturalist is probably more for the lifelink than it is anything. The cost reduction doesn't really change anything. Makes Calix a little bit cheaper. I think having 4/4 drops will be a lot better for 23. If it wasn't for the Archon, we could probably go down to 20, honestly. As low curve as this deck is. But I feel like this is the much better build. Alright. We'll see you in the next video.